So we had a quick discussion about kind of how to instill the desire to people who are still using or who are not willing to join NA really, and just kind of the hurdles that the people working in the facilities have and the frustrations when they can't kind of make people want to do NA. We talked about how Narcotics Anonymous doesn't have an opinion about, you know, court mandating people to meetings and sponsorship and all of that. But we did discuss also the third tradition, right? How you are a member when you say you are, right? Narcotics Anonymous has these traditions that we talk about, kind of like the guiding principles of Narcotics Anonymous. We talked about attraction rather than promotion, right? Which is tradition 11, which basically means, you know, Joanne raised a really good point about how even if we feel disheartened and we feel like no one's hearing the message, we never know who we're reaching, right? We never know when a seed is planted. And so we continue to come in, we continue to facilitate meetings and carry presentations into facilities. And when, you know, an inmate finds the desire or the willingness, you know, that's their process. We can't instill that in anyone. And we just keep coming in and doing our part. We talked a little bit just kind of about how the people in the Connecticut facilities can reach out and try to get members of Narcotics Anonymous in. I know Wilvina is going to send out contact information. So if you're interested, definitely reach out to some public relations people and we can work with you to get presentations and meetings into your facility. And that was really it. We focus a lot on the desire to stop using and how we're powerless over that. And we just do the best we can by carrying the message. And people who come to meetings regularly do stay clean, and so hopefully they'll find it, and kind of up to them. So thanks.
Who's asking if Sherry, you wanted to go now?
With our first question, what challenges and concerns do you have about speaker meetings and inmate participation? We talked about some of the challenges of just getting into meetings themselves, and some of the challenges were that were brought up from an NA member was that timing sometimes can be a challenge for volunteers, NA volunteers, to be able to go in, that sometimes the timing is a bit early. And how can we work with the facilities to try to adjust it, even if it's by maybe 20 minutes, you know, not having to be rigid on the hour or on the half hour, to be able to have people to come in. And another thing that was brought up as a challenge in going in is continuity of members going in. We got input from Tiffany from New York, who, if there's anyone here from the New York area, needs to reach out to her NA people so that maybe you can work something out. She just realized that they do have tablets, and I'll get into that in the second part. I don't know how much, Charmaine, you want to do, or if you want me to do all this, it's up to you. But anyway, NA members, to talk with their NA members prior to them becoming H&I people, that it's a one-year setup to help with that. Have inmates as far as speaker meetings and inmate participation. With inmate participation, sometimes we have to have good facilitators, because otherwise can get off topic and talk about how bad the facility is, or you know, what their particular situation may be, and it gets off the topic of recovery. You know, sometimes IPs like, am I an addict? And have participation with this. And I'm talking COVID time and beyond COVID on some of this. To actually have the inmates to participate in some of the literature and the questions and things of that sort, and being able to have topics to try to keep on track, so that the overall discussion is recovery based on that. And one of the challenges is getting appropriate members to be able to go in and share a message of what Narcotics Anonymous is and a message of their recovery, or topic-based, which is also a good way of going in too. And also one of the things that came out of that is there, like one facility that we had with Tiffany, they are not as rigid with a background check and a history check, and that they even allow people, and that would be on us as NA members, to be able to make sure that the person has the proper training to go in, that could be on probation, because as long as they have a letter from their probation officer, then that, you know, gives us another member that could be available to go in, even if they're on probation, because sometimes probation can be lengthy. And so that allows for more people to go in. And a criminal background. New York allows it if there's a letter from the probation. Missouri, again, does not allow H&I members to have a criminal background history or a criminal history. And then we talked about using Discord as a voice only. One of our participants brought that up for, and that's supposed to be on virtualna.org, so that there's just a voice and you know, protection of anonymity, if that may be one of the challenges that we could have. And the thing is that we do have facilities that do not have the ability to do virtual, and how can we brainstorm and come up with something? And that's what I was talking earlier, that Tiffany, during our discussion, realized that there are tablets, which some of our members have heard about, the tablets being assigned to inmates, and be able to work with her as far as even just getting literature on the tablets, which is, I know, a project that World Services has been working on, that we can also help in participation, and whether or not we can give recordings of speakers to be put on the tablets for listening. And we've received recorded information and maybe literature virtually. But she also needs a contact in Connecticut, and Mark had left their thing. So I just want to put that out there for Adam or some of them to be able to coordinate that. Thank you.
My name's Jeff, and I was the co-facilitator of the probation and parole breakout group. Now, you know, our breakout group was almost, was the vast majority of the people in our breakout group were NA members, but we were also blessed to have Judge Mays in our group. And we had a woman named Paula. I can't remember her exact job title, but I believe she's involved with the supervision of adult probationers in the state of Connecticut. And we never, I don't think we really broached the subject of virtual versus in-person. It was really all about NA and how we can make it available for the population. One of the main issues that was brought up was that a concern about evidence-based programs. And, you know, we tried to address that, and Mickey provided some great information, as did Paul from Ohio. One thing I thought was great, we had people from all over: Arizona, California, Connecticut, Ohio, New Jersey, Texas. That was great. And so people brought experience from all over the place. And Mickey shared, you know, the membership survey and shared his screen and showed the statistics about how lives were improved. You know, Paula expressed what she felt was an inability for her department, and she can speak for herself if she wants to do that, and I don't want to misrepresent her, but she felt that she couldn't mandate the attendance at NA meetings. And so we talked about making it an option. And we discussed the importance of, she identified, she thought that maybe some kind of preliminary programs to get people in shape so that they were willing or motivated. And, we talked about, the third tradition and how the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. And I said, and if the addict doesn't want to get cleaned, it doesn't matter what you try to do. Our literature tells us, at least for us, the addict's not going to get clean. So yeah, motivation and a desire is essential. But we really just talked about making it available as an option. And then, we pointed out that you can get free literature from NA.org. I put the website, the link to the specific literature page in the chat. We put your email, Wilvina, and I would encourage anyone that has any questions about this kind of stuff that they can go to Jane herself at Public Relations. She's a PR manager at NA World Services. But if anybody wants to add something, I would welcome anything that someone would add.
All right. So we talked about the places where you could go politically, how to get somebody to give permissions and how to get to that type of individual, and about going big to attorney generals or director of prisons, various folks, and to do this right away because budget season's coming up and we want to have stuff in the budget to deal with additional IT costs. The gentleman from Brazil talked about how basically all of that nation is online. They've been doing online for a long time. They've been doing H&I online for a long time. And I also mentioned that Australia has been going that. Australia has all 39 prisons simulcast every week, multiple times a week, and they move who is presenting around the nation, but the entire prison system is online and does NA/H&I online. And there was a lot of discussion about from the virtual meeting from the UK, how that's working, and how they want to do more, and to get a pilot program, a point of light to point to, saying it's working here, and then start spreading it around. The lady from South Florida says we're target rich. We've got lots of opportunity. We're having some trouble internally getting everything going. So we're going to set up and do a presentation down there. We made some progress. Thanks.